Okay, okay. All right. Now we want to get to Renee. Renee Nixon, our playwright from Durham. Okay, Renee, you take it away, dear.
Hi, everybody. I'm Renee, and name of my play is called Gone and So Gone. And basically, so true love, it should be forever, but sometimes it doesn't go as planned. But can it still last forever if it doesn't? Ladies and gentlemen, Gone and So Gone.
Since I turned 25, there was only one thing that I wanted in life, and that was to marry my wife. And 3 years later, everything changed.
I know that he hates me for leaving him. That wasn't my plan, but things happen.
I met Rachel when I was 22 years old. God, I fell head over heels for her. I thought she was the be all and the end all of everything.
From the moment that I kissed Jacob, I knew he was the man for me. It wasn't long after that he proposed, when he got down on one knee and asked if I would spend the rest of my life with him.
Well, she screamed.
Yes! Yes! I don't think I could have been any happier. Oh, how I love that man. Our wedding was beautiful. It was perfect. I thought the fairy tale would never end. I got pregnant with our first child, Sophia, after we were married for a year. Life was great.
After 3 great years together, she left me.
After 3 amazing years, I left him.
Rachel had to work late. She was working on a big project, and if her supervisor liked it, she might get a huge promotion. We both were so excited, and we've been waiting years for this opportunity.
My presentation went perfectly. My supervisor surprised me and asked me to present today instead of tomorrow like it was originally scheduled. But to his surprise, I was ready. He and the other bosses were shocked. I floored them. I was so happy. I stopped and picked up our favorite meal from our favorite restaurant. I knew that Jacob would want to celebrate just as much as I did. I scooped up Sophia from daycare. And then it happened.
I got a text from Rachel saying that she would be home by the time I got home, and she had a surprise for me. So when I got home and she wasn't there, I figured she got caught in traffic or something. I turned on the TV to catch the beginning of the news when I saw a story with an 18-wheeler flipping on its side. It hit 4 cars. One person dead, 3 people were taken to the hospital along with a 2-year-old. The news showed a close-up of one of the cars, and I saw a magnet. It looked like the one on the back of Rachel's car. I called her. I got her voicemail, and I called her again, and the third time a man answered the phone. It was a police officer. He told me I needed to get to the hospital as quick as possible.
By the time Jacob got to the hospital, I was gone. I died in the ambulance. I tried to hold on. I did. I tried, but I was in so much pain. My eyelashes even hurt. I closed my eyes for a moment, and I was gone.
Rachel was gone. I'm now a widower with a 2-year-old little girl fighting for her life. How did my world turn upside down so quickly?
I have to admit, I had a beautiful funeral. If it wasn't mine, I would have been in awe. But it was mine. I watched Jacob try to stay strong, but I know he was hurting. I could see it in his eyes. There wasn't anyone there to comfort him the way he needed to be comforted. It's breaking my heart. Sophia is still in the hospital. Doctor says she's going to recover. She'll have to learn how to walk again, but because of her age, it won't take her long. She won't have any memory of what happened. That means she won't have any memory of me. That's the part that hurts.
Everything has changed. Sophia, she's pushing her stroller around the house. She'll peep around the corner and she'll say, "Mommy." I know she misses Rachel. She's too little to understand what's going on. We kiss Mommy's picture at night. I'm doing my best to help her understand about heaven, but it's so hard. I look at Sophia's eyes and I see Rachel. Next week is Rachel's birthday, and Sophia and I will go put flowers on her grave. I know things will get better. I pray that things will get better. I need things to get better.
Watching Sophia grow up without me is hard. Watching Jacob try to move on without me is hard. But watching this casserole crew flirt with my husband is very hard. He's still married. I've only been dead a month. Why can't they just let him grieve?
I miss Rachel every day. It's harder and harder. And Sophia looks so much like her. And there's so much that I have to teach Sophia. I don't know how. What do I know about training bras? What they train them for? To do? Hair? I have no clue how to do her hair. I can do a ponytail, but after that, I have nothing. And what am I going to do when she starts her period? I saw a commercial about the different sizes for pads. How do I know what size to buy? And I have no clue how to use a tampon. Freak it. Sophia might have to start a new trend and wear adult diapers.
He's got it easy now. Just wait until he starts having to potty train Sophia and taking her to the restroom in public. They really need more family bathrooms in public areas. I really wish my family lived nearby to help him. Sophia's hair is going to be all over her head. She's going to be wearing a lot of hats. I know my husband, Jacob. He's going to be frustrated. And after a few tries, that's it. My poor baby.
Then there are these women who coming around with these casseroles, and I have so many in my freezer. Some of them are very aggressive. I tell them I'm good, but they don't listen. It's like I'm speaking another language.
I'm so glad Jacob isn't a whore like his brother. One chick came over in a bandana. Her dress barely covered anything. Sophia cries every time she comes over to the house.
Sophia doesn't like Emily. The minute Emily walks in, Sophia starts screaming and jumps into my arms. I really think my 2-year-old is warning me about her. But Melody is really nice. She's not aggressive. She's friendly, and Sophia's warming up to her.
That Melody is making her move too. But she's smooth with hers. I see her. Washing dishes, buying clothes for Sophia, doing Sophia's hair. She's trying to take my place. Smooth trick. Smooth, very smooth.
As much as I like Melody, I don't want another wife. Right now, I just want to spend time with my daughter and adjust to life without Rachel. I feel all around me. I remember when we would start watching a movie and then start making out like a couple of teenagers. I remember fighting with her about directions over building the bookshelf. We had a knockdown, drag out fight over that bookshelf. Then we realized we put the doors on upside down and we both fell out laughing and left it. She had a way of changing my mind no matter what. We wouldn't even be in this house if she hadn't convinced me it would be perfect for our 2 kids and a puppy. We were supposed to go to a shelter and look for a puppy for Sophia. We wanted them to grow up together. Now I can't even think about a dog.
Watching my baby girl grow up without me is heartbreaking. And watching Jacob cry alone at night is destroying my soul. How can I make their pain stop? Is there anything I can do? Dear Lord, help them. Please help them.
I'm coming, Sophia. Daddy's coming. I have a teddy for you. Lord, I need you now more than ever.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, Forum, what do you have to say?
Yeah, nice job. Nice acting. So I have two big questions. One is, what would this look like on stage? Because it's basically a conversation. So is there action? Is there other stuff going on? I mean, I think it's lovely, but I wonder about that. So
On stage, it would basically be, if I do it like some of the other monologue plays that I've done, it would basically be like a table with a couple of chairs, probably with some toys around it, since Jacob is a single father. And he's sitting at the table, and she would be behind him off to the side. They never would look at each other because she's a ghost. So she's never there. He's never looking at her, and he's having the conversation.
So then, is this pretty much the finished piece, or is there more to it?
Okay. No, it's not going to be any more. It's just this little bit in his life.
Okay. So then, my other question, or just observation, everything gelled with me except when he started talking about feminine hygiene products, because that seems like a big leap from what the daughter's 2 years old or something.
But he's a single dad. So, I mean, as a single dad who doesn't know men don't know anything about this. And so he's just thinking, just being with my daughter, I'm just me and her. Oh God, and because you see the commercials about Always and tampons constantly, especially if you watch something,
It's not that a single dad wouldn't think that. It's like, would his mind go there with a 2-year-old? So that's my only question, but I'm done, and thank you.
William, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I think that the feminine hygiene question, a father would flash forward. It's like seeing his whole future life passing in front of him, and I think it actually makes quite a good sense. I don't have a problem with that myself.
Yeah, I appreciated that moment, and the dialogue of that part and the way it was delivered, Melvin, and several other parts, because this is heavy, and those, and then the part about the woman coming in wearing the bandana and she's barely covered, right? Like, that brought those little flashes, kind of broke that, and let us laugh a little bit. And then, so that it became the emotional kind of roller coaster, right? That is really helpful in, in this kind of thing. And I do not, raising two boys, and, when it was time for me to look at, like, okay, now I'm going to have to do this thing by myself. Right. And I'm going, what am I going to tell these guys? Right? Like, oh no, I am not having that conversation with them. Somebody else is going to have to do that. Right. And I imagine it would be even more terrifying for a father. Cause I know I was terrified of my daughter too. Like, whoa, no, there's more products out there than there used to be. Like, I don't know how to talk about this. So, but there, but yeah, it was it was strong. There was a lot of heart in there. And I think, the single father, the idea of a full-time single father is relatively new, right? Like, when I was growing up, my parents, you didn't have single fathers, right? And so now it's becoming more common, but I think that perspective getting out there and having the chance to hear their voice and what they face is really important and often neglected. So.
Thank you. As a sidebar, I was raised by a single dad. My mom died when I was 10. So I'm truly a daddy's girl. So every Father's Day and on his birthday, I have a T-shirt. It says on the back, proud Daddy's Girl. So
wow, yeah. Give him props, man, because that just he was a pioneer.
He was, yes, he was.
Can I make a suggestion then about the feminine hygiene products that you would add more about that part of her life? If he is going, but that's okay. I mean, it's cool. If you.
Okay.
Now, how long did y'all have to prepare for this? Actors.
A couple of days, because Yvette sent, I forget when she sent the script, but a couple of days. So definitely more time than the last one to play with this one. Then we had a rehearsal yesterday with it too. So
they enjoy it, and I did not see, like, I thought she had left him, like she left him, like she took off, Yeah,
I did.
You did. You carried that off. Yeah, I was not. Good. I was not pursuing when he started talking about she wasn't here and it was the wreck. I mean, I thought when she said it happened, it was like she suddenly realized like this kid and her husband were going to keep her from ever fulfilling her life dreams, and so she was going to have to ditch them. So I was, I was glad that's not what she decided, but I'm sad that she died. But yeah, y'all. Yeah, I did not see that coming. Y'all handled that very well.
Good.
Yes. Good.
That is what Renee wanted.
Yes. Yeah.
Y'all did a great job. Oh my God. Like y'all took it to the level I needed it to go. Yay. And yes, I felt the tears and I felt the anger with the casserole crew. Yes. I felt the anger.
The casserole crew.
Yes. And then Melanie being slick with hers. Yeah, she's slick with hers. That trick.
Right.
Smooth.
Can you also address Fabrina's comment? She had an important comment that she was trying to ask earlier about the hygiene products and stuff.
Okay, the last thing she said, she wanted me to add on some more to it, and then she got caught. She was like, "Never mind."
Well, I just didn't feel like anyone was interested in my comment, and that's fine. I'm
interested in your comment.
Not here to tell people it's your play. I was asked to do this, and that's why I'm here.
Oh no, exactly. I want to hear what you want to say. I mean, like, so I take it that piece stuck out to you. That did you giggle a little bit as he was talking about it? Because it was kind of a lot.
But I don't have to laugh. Tell people it's my point is it stuck out as like, why would he fixate on that in particular? Now you're the playwright. Maybe that works for you. All I'm doing is giving you, from my perspective, where I'm coming from. I guess I'm thinking if he's looking into the future, like add some more things so the feminine hygiene products just doesn't seem like he goes, that's just where he goes. If you want that, cool. I would put more around it. So I'm just giving you my perspective there. It's
okay, because we could add on about a boyfriend going to the prom also to go along with that, like in the whole area.
You could also add, if I may say so.
May I just finish a minute?
Sorry?
My brother had to, one of my stepnieces was visiting him and got her period while she was there. So he was like, ah. Anyway, he found a woman to help, a friend of his to help that out. So I'm aware that, men deal with it, and some of them deal more personal than my brother did. But I'm not trying to say don't mention it. It's just give it some context is my only suggestion. And you can take it or leave it.
Awesome.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I don't have anything.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say along the lines of what Sabrina was saying was perhaps, just an option would be you're starting with a girl of 2, and it could be like fast forwarding in a video, and it could be a whole lot of little moments during those ages in between that he could just make mention of that would get you there. It didn't bother me, but it just seems to me it's an option in the way you could write the scene. Does that make sense?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like I said, it didn't jar me when I heard it, because as a father, I can imagine going there, right away. Like someday I'm going to have to deal with this, and it made sense emotionally. But if other people react that way, and they might, you could sort of do this. And then there's going to be this, and then there's going to be this, and then there's going to be this, and each one could be just like a sentence. But finally building up to that, and then I'm going to have to deal with feminine hygiene products. You know what I mean? It's just the thought. I just throwing it out there in case you get more reactions of that kind.
I actually think it's good. I too actually was raised by a single dad. My mom and dad were divorced, and I actually went to go stay with my dad. So one of the things that my dad hated was going to have to buy me feminine products. And I think it's good because not only is that just a reality, but it also lets it be known or shows the difference between a single father raising a girl as opposed to a single father raising a boy. That's a big difference. And that helps the audience relate or kind of at least get an idea of what he's dealing with or he's thinking about he's going to be dealing with as a father of a little girl that's going to grow up and one day be a teenager, a college student, a mom. So I think it actually works. And I don't think it has to be more put in it. I think it's just enough. And that's just my opinion. I think, and it's real. So it is a difference between raising a boy, a male raising a boy as opposed to a male raising a girl. Is a difference.
Well, I'm not saying, and I did not mean to imply that it should not be in there. I thought it was really cool it was in there, especially since she goes in, the script goes into details. So that shows somebody who's very knowledgeable. And that worked for me. For me, I'm looking at it, how it works as a piece of theater. And as a piece of theater, I think for it to be believable, I think there needs to be more context for that. That's where I always come from. Like, if this is theater, if I'm seeing it on the stage, what's going to make it more believable? I think it's a really nice piece. I also think she could keep it the way it is and it would be fine. I just,
Right.
Yeah.
Understand.
I get it. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like that's. Yeah.
I wonder too. I wonder if there'll be different reactions across the board in different generations who are seeing it.
That's true.
As well. like, the use of women, if I may pick on you for a second, of feminine hygiene products, as opposed to what am I going to do when she gets her period? There's pads, right? Like, that comfort level of what you see on TV and how you talk about it. And then also the idea, like with me thinking that it's strange, that it's unusual for someone to, for fathers to step up. Right. But then both of you had fathers who stepped up. Right. So that's like, two people I know who've been raised by their fathers before my generation of men started stepping up. Right. So, and now I have friends who are, but to me, that's just like that's like an amazing thing. So, so I think that's going to be an interesting thing as well, because, how different people are going to react coming from our own experiences. Like me, if I would not, like, I wanted to go live with my dad, but when it got to the point, of puberty, I would not have wanted my dad to be the one that I was talking to. And thinking about him raising a girl across, there's a lot of fears tied up, I think, especially in this day and age, with being a man raising a girl. And so, and then you can get into the feminist stuff, right? Like, why does his mind go there so fast? Is because that's how women are defined to men. Like, that's what we do. We bleed every month, right? Like, so, that there's a lot that I think an audience could bring to, and it's interesting that is the part that stands out, because that for me was the part that got me, where I'm like, yeah, what are you going to do? Right? Like, how are you going to do this? And there's the anger, and there's the, what am I going to do? And there's the sadness and stuff. And then his wife is over here watching him from death and worried about him, but she's got to be worried about the baby too. And like, how's all this going to play out? There's a lot about society in general, I think, right there in this family dynamic piece, and what happens when you upset that balance and how different people see it.
True. I have two people in my family, men who raise their kids. One of my cousins, so he's a little older than me. His wife, I don't know, somehow they got disconnected, and he raised their 5 kids. Yeah, so, and then I have a uncle who actually he's 80. He raised his 2 daughters. I don't really know what happened with the mom. So it's not a unusual story in mine. And I don't have no idea, like, all the details of how he negotiated that.
That is an interesting point, because if I go back a couple of generations, then there's the mother dying in childbirth and the father raising, and then the one that got married 6 times in order to have someone to watch, including sisters a couple of times, so they would watch their nieces and nephews, right? Like, because he couldn't be alone with the children, apparently. And so, but then there was my great-grandfather who raised his grandchildren, and he was gone half the time because he worked tobacco markets, and they pretty much ran wild and raised themselves, which is probably why we're all crazy now. So there is and then, so that is interesting to think about, that it's almost like there's a gap in what I think of. There's a whole generation of men I do not think of as being willing to be single fathers, but then there's a generation before and a generation after that I see. So I don't know, maybe that's my own daddy issues I'm bringing to the table. That's a fascinating, thank you.
I love it. Yay.